team meeting is perfect. Thank you. Becca's on it. We are talking about this bold. Who here has done bold before? All right. How many has gone to bold more than once? More than twice? More than 3 times? More than 4 times? More than 5 times? More than 6? 7? 8? Fantastic. All right. Good job. All right. So the reason why we asked that, so BOLD stands for Business Objectives, Life by Design. It is meant for your personal and your professional growth. It is a 7-week program that is, like I said, meant to grow you both personally and professionally. A lot of people come out with at least 11 pieces of business that they didn't have prior, because it is meant to push you out of your comfort zone and get you straight into the activities that you need to boost your business forward. This will be my 6th BOLD. And we're having it in the market center. So no traveling, no need to go anywhere. It's our own personal BOLD. The kicker on that is we only got 50 spots, and Burlington wants half of those spots. So I want to make sure that you have the opportunity to learn what BOLD is and get signed up today if you would like to have one of those spots, because we definitely are going to be working on limited space. We cannot go over the 50 number. I don't know if I'm going to get in trouble for sharing this, but I just want to share one of my favorite parts about BOLD is you get to write a letter to yourself and they mail it to you a year after. And I took my very first BOLD, I think I was with Keller Williams for 3 months. So I jumped right into it. It was like, oh my gosh, what the heck did they sign me up for? But every letter I've gotten, every single thing on those letters have come true for me, with the exception of just a few, and they're just like right there. They're just like right there. So it's really cool to see, one, where you are the first time you take it, how you evolve and who you become. But also those milestones and the things that you do achieve. That's really, really cool to be able to get that letter and go, so I did get that one then. And some of them I didn't know what they meant at the time. Interestingly enough, like I love that part about it. I want to give you guys the details. That we're gonna, like I said, it's a 7-week program. The cost is $7.99. We believe in this program so much that if it is your first time taking BOLD, we will reimburse the entire $799 back to you per transaction, $200 every transaction until you are paid back. If this is your second or further BOLD, we do the same thing, but up to half. It is Thursdays, and thank goodness I put Becca on fact checking, because apparently I thought it was on Wednesdays, even though we said it on Thursdays to not mess up team meeting. But it's Thursdays at 9 a.m. to 2:30. Both breakfast and lunch are provided every day, and again, spaces are definitely very limited. I wanted to go ahead and introduce our BOLD coach, Denise Meyer. She has been a BOLD coach for the last 4 years. She's a MAPS agent coach and a master of faculty. In her coaching, she has done over 21,000 individual coaching calls so far in her career. She has been an OP and a rainmaker of a team. Her team has sold over 3,000 transactions. And she's funny. She says she is happily married to her husband, Mike Marr. She's the mom of 2 amazing men, Andrew and Jack, and her dog, Little Jack, who was named by her son, Jack. Let's welcome Denise Meyer, and hopefully we can pull up the Zoom. Stop share. Denise, are you with us?
Good morning, everyone. Thank you. Woo. Hey, Jen, it's almost like I wrote that myself. So thank you for making me sound good. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. If you see this funny sunbeam coming in, it's because the life of a BOLD coach is so glamorous. I'm in Tracy, California, in my car, so I can speak with you this morning, because I'm going to teach BOLD in a few minutes. I'd like you, ladies and gentlemen, it was so fun to see all your hands go up. I was on a little bit early, that you've taken BOLD before. And for those of you who haven't, and for those of you who have, BOLD is really about 3 things. And maybe you'd like to take some notes here. The very first thing, BOLD is about mindset conditioning. Mindset conditioning, meaning that no matter what the market is, it's 90% mindset, and we have to condition our mind to find the solutions versus focus right to the problem of what's not working. Now, number 2, BOLD is about coaching. In BOLD, sometimes I'm going to coach you, sometimes I'm going to push you, sometimes I'll teach you, and sometimes I might just get my big bold purple shoe and give you a little kick in the right direction. And number 3, bold is about transformation. And when I say transformation, can we make an agreement that in order to get somewhere that we've never been before, can we all agree that we may have to do things we've never done before? And that's what transformation is. I've got my favorite bold law up here as my background: fear or faith, you choose. Meaning you can have fear that this market's going to kick you out, or you can have faith that if others are doing this at a high level, I too can do it at a high level when I just have to figure out how. And that's what transformation is. It's having faith that you can be one of the ones who succeed regardless of what's going on around you. And so I'd like to do an exercise with you. Now, I believe you all have some 3x5 cards. Is that right, Jen? Awesome. Okay. Now, for those of you on Zoom, I'd like you to get a piece of paper and we'll go through an exercise either online or for those in the room. And when we're finished, I may even ask one of you to share what you write down. Now, I'd like you to write on one side of the 3x5 card. Everybody got it? Hold it up. Okay, cool. I see some. All right. So everybody, I'd like you to write $78,000. Write down $78,000. Now I'd like you to flip that card over. On the back side, I'd like you to consider you just got a $78,000 bonus. Like it's like the lottery day and you didn't even have to do anything. You put that money is in your bank account. So $78,000 deposited into your bank account. And I'm going to ask you a question. $78,000 infusion of cash into your world right now today. Who would benefit from $78,000? Who in your world, including yourself, would benefit from the $78,000? I'd like you to write that down. Now, with that $78,000, what would you do with that $78,000? How would you spend it? Who would you spend it on? Would you perhaps pay off some debt? Would you fund a investment property, pay down a house? Maybe you're going to do something for someone else. Save for college, save for the retirement. Maybe it's even about legacy in some way. Now, when you look at what you wrote down, please answer a few of these questions, take some notes on your card. What's important to you about that? Like when you accomplish that, what happens because you did? Now, whatever you wrote down, you deserve all of that. And what we're going to do, the reason I had you write that number down is because that's the average commission in your market center multiplied by 11 pieces of business. And that's what the average agent does in bold is 11 pieces of business. And Jen tells me you're not average. So I would love if somebody be willing to share with me, what did you write down? How are you going to spend your $78,000? Someone willing to share in your room, Jen?
Who would like to share? I'll start with mine and I'd like one others. One of my driving factors every year is to take my entire family to Disney World. And when I say my entire family, I don't just mean my kids, but I mean my mom, my stepdad, my brothers, my nephews. Like I want to take everybody and be able to pay for it. $78,000, man, that'd be one heck of a trip. I'd have good money left over, but we would get to do all the things, stay on site, you know, and that would create memories, which is really important for me. It's not about the monetary, it's about the time and the magic of Disney. So that's what mine would be. What's yours?
Wow, that's so cool. I love that. I want to be part of your family.
I'll take it. Who else?
Who else? What did you write down?
Janet, what'd you write down?
So basically just, help my son with getting the jump start on investing, something I wish I would have done at his age, and he's really excited, so do some of that to help what he's got.
To help your son get starting with investment properties, and you wish that you had done that. And what does that do for him?
It just helps him, I want him to be on his own, you know, and not have to worry about being, how rich he is, but he's young, but. He's got more confidence in doing that, and I always make excuses, so I think that'll help him continue on that route.
I love that. Were you able to hear that, Denise?
I am. And you know, what an amazing way to be able to pour into someone else. You know, when you do that, did I hear, what was your name, ma'am?
Janet Taylor.
Janet, it's a pleasure to meet you, sort of through here, right? And yet sharing what you would do with that, I feel like I know you even better now. So Miss Janet, I'm curious, so you're able to help your son get a jump start in life and boost his confidence and be able to do that for him. Ultimately, Miss Janet, like, what's so important to you about doing that for your son?
Well, basically just to expand on what I said before, he's got that confidence and that mindset that I didn't have when I was young. As far as investing, I've always been more safe. And at my age now, I need to stay safe, but he can take those risks. So I think I can help him with that.
Wow. Wow. So you can help your son be able to create safety and security for him in his world. And when you're able to do all that for him, how do you feel ultimately?
Amazing.
Amazing. Yeah. And you know, Miss Janet, you deserve all that and so much more. And, you know, let me ask you a question. And not that this is going to happen, and yet what if you're never able to create any of that for your son?
What if I wasn't able to, well, if I can't do it monetarily, just help him keep that same mindset, which I do. I mean, we communicate really well, so, and he'll be fine.
Yeah, he'll be fine, and yet being able to do it would be such a relief to you. So Miss Janet, I know it's not going to happen, yet is there any way you're not going to pour into your son and give him the best leg up in life possible?
I'm sorry.
Is there any way you're not going to be able to do that? Like, any way you're just going to be like, I'm not pouring into him?
Absolutely not.
Exactly. Exactly. And you know, and that's why I share, it's interesting. Do you notice how quickly, ladies and gentlemen, we went from 11 pieces of business to, it has nothing to do with business. It has all to do with a life by design and a life worth living. And that's what Bold is about. We say in Bold, and we know that it's so much more than what you do in Bold. It's about who you become in the process. And so we desire for each and every one of you to go get what you wrote down. You deserve it. Can we give it up for Janet? Like, thank you so much for being transparent and sharing. And because if you're like Janet, what you wrote down, that's about the future. That's about feeling great. That's about feeling fulfilled. That's about success, all the good feelings linked with it. And that's what we're going to go do in this Bold. Look, somebody's going to do those deals in your market, and I believe it ought to be you. And I believe we ought to go do them together. And Bold is about thinking big, aiming high, and thinking and acting bold. And so I'm Denise, I'm Bold, and I'm going to stick on. I know we have an amazing treat for you coming up. And yet, let's go get what you wrote down. All right, Miss Jen, thank you so much. Let's go back to you and go to our next treat.
Absolutely. Well, even though Denise is going to be with us, can we give her a great big round of applause? Absolutely. And without further ado, I'm going to go back into my presentation. And if I may, let's see. If I may call up to the front of the room, Eric Buchanan, Jason Stanley, and Jeffrey Keller. Jeffrey, but we like to call him Jeffrey. So I thought it was really cool to not only be able to hear from our awesome Bold coach, but be able to hear from agents here that have taken Bold and taken Bold a few times. And so I'm just gonna ask you guys a few questions and it's not, you don't like no particular order speakers to go, but the first thing that I wanted to do, just for all of you, if you will introduce yourselves, just in case somebody's here that doesn't know you. How many times you've gone, well, how long have you been in the business? How many times have you done Bold? And why do you keep coming back? I'm gonna start.
I'm Kara Buchanan. I will be here 10 years in April. I'm not sure how many times I've done Bold, somewhere between 8 and 10. I don't know. And then a couple failed Bolds when we were doing it virtually. I keep coming back because every time I come, I see an impact on my business for the better. There's more productivity. I become a little re-motivated and I tend to lose some of my home throughout the year. And so when I take Bold, it brings it all back. And you hear something different every time.
There.
Hello, my name is Jason Stanley. I've been here since 2019, so that's almost going on 5 years. It doesn't feel like that long, that went by really quickly. Jeffrey and I work together, obviously, if you don't know that, this will be, well, we're actually both in Bold right now, which is a very good Bold, network, with Keller Williams. So this is our 5th time taking Bold. For me, I think every time that I've taken Bold, it's been with a different coach and with different people in the room. So there are different conversations that are had, different questions that are asked, and you're surrounded by people who are in different places in their business. I love being in the group. So if you haven't taken Bold before, you'll be put into a group of other agents in the room, and being able to learn and grow from each other is great. Like Kara said, you're going to take something different away from it. You're in a different place in your life or business, and so that's why I think
I love that.
I'm Jeffrey Kelleher, and I'll be 4 years in April. And been there, 5 times Bold, and every time I take it, similarly to what Kara and Jason said, I walk away with something new. And I think there's something comforting about being uncomfortable with others, because it's not comfortable. The growth isn't comfortable. And something in my life changes with that every time,
Okay, wow. So I heard a lot of professional and personal growth. I heard getting out of comfort zones, the bonding experience. That's such a good point. That is one of my favorite parts, is you do really bond with your team, and and it is life changing in some ways. I love that. Kara, if I may ask you specifically, can you tell me how Bold has impacted your personal life and or your business?
It's opened my eyes to the possibilities.
Tell me more.
So when I came into real estate, I had been laid off, and all I wanted to do was replace that income, which wasn't much at the time. So it opens your eyes to the possibilities of what you put out to the universe comes back to you, and that you can do anything you want with your life.
Oh, I like that. Wow. Jeff, you were once in a room First Step, just, kind of similar to this, and you made the decision to jump all in and do full Bold. Tell me why. Why did you decide?
I really wanted to sip the Kool-Aid. I know that sounds funny, but I joined, Keller Williams. Jason was here first, and if I'm gonna join an organization, I'm gonna join the organization, whatever that may be. And so really going in kind of blindly, I kind of knew what Bold was about, but I just wanted to throw myself in. Since then, there have been times where our business has been low, and we've said, okay, we got to do this. There's been times that our business has been high, and we've said, okay, let's take it higher. Really, it was just about wanting to experience it.
Being all in, I love that. Jason, can you tell me your favorite bold laws is? And how, like, cause I know that was one of the things that you talked about is that, you know, that there's actually quite a few that speak to you, so if you don't mind talking about that.
Sure, when I was a brand new agent, my favorite bold law was always no pressure, no diamonds. I think that for many of us, you get into real estate and you don't know what you're getting into, and then you realize that as a business owner, there's a lot to learn, there's a huge learning curve, and it's often more difficult than we anticipate it being. I think now, I think my favorite bold law overall is your business grows to the extent that you do. I think that I try to be a very learning-based and growth-oriented person, so Jeff and I are math coaching. So we have a coach that is helping us regularly. When we were new here, we were in productivity coaching. We've always had some type of coaching happening.
Okay.
That is really, I think we go contribute to our success and being able to learn from the people around us and from coaches and others. I think right now, one of my favorite bold laws is, I might mess this up, but do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always gotten.
Yeah.
Being in a market that's shifting, I think we have recognized and are trying to implement different strategies in our businesses because the market is not what it was 2 years ago, it's changed. And so to get the results that we want, we have to change the strategies we're implementing.
Absolutely.
And for me, that's all the reason to do anything, whether it's take bold, go to family reunion, surround yourself with people that you can learn from, to learn from people who are doing other strategies at a high level, how to implement it yourself.
I love that. The funny thing is when you said, you know, like, oh, there's so many of them and I like so many of them. When we go through bold, every day we pick a new bold law. So I do that every day still. Every day I wake up and so my bold law that I am focused on today is not gonna be the same bold law from yesterday. So I actually thought I was like, oh, that shows that you've been through several times because that is the way that it's designed, you know, but I think that's a really good point. And I do think you got that pretty spot on that, yeah, if you want, you know, you're not gonna get different results with the same exact activity. So I love that. Karen, do you have a favorite bold law?
So many. I think one of my favorites that has been a constant for me in the last 10 years is that you can have reasons or results, but you can't have both.
What does that mean?
It means you can make excuses not to do the work, but you won't have the results. You can have the reasons for not doing it, or you can have results. And you're the only person stopping you from being successful. It's all about you and your actions and not what other people are doing or having business come to you. It's all about you. So
I love
you can have reasons or results.
I like that. I like that. It's also too, don't judge your insides by other people's outsides. That
Yeah.
goes along with that very closely as well, because your personal success is very personal to each and every one of you. Last big question, you know, there is undoubtedly somebody in the room, if not more than one, that is saying to themselves, I don't have the time, I don't have the money, it's not gonna work for me, or I've done this before and it didn't work for me last time. Who can speak to that? What would you tell that person who's got that voice going on in their head right now?
If you say that you don't have the time, in your mind, you're gonna believe that, but, if you really say you don't have the time to do it, then you need to do it more. There's 24 hours in a day. If you really don't have the time, then you know, what are you doing? Like, if you really truly don't have the time,
This course talks about time blocking. It
Yeah.
talks about time management.
Yeah.
It is, I know that's where I learned time blocking and discipline from is from Bold. Because I'm definitely a fly by the seat of my pants kind of person. Ooh, butterfly, let's follow that for today. And so, no, I think that speaks very true to it. If you don't feel like you have the time, that might be a really good sign that this is exactly what you need. I love that. Who else would like to speak to that?
So for me, you get out what you put in. So there have been goals where I didn't have the energy or I had other things happening in my life and I didn't put a ton of energy into that goal. And I didn't get a lot out of it.
Fair.
So if you come in with the mindset that you're gonna come in, you're gonna put 100% of yourself in, you will get that back in return. So for those of you saying, I don't have time, well, what are you doing? How many deals do you have under contract? You probably have the time. Most of us right now have the time. I know my business is down, so I can make time for this. If you truly don't have the money, come talk to the office, come talk to some of us. Let's talk it out, see what we can do to help. And then again, it just comes back to making this a priority. You are your own priority, like you're the priority in your life, so make it happen.
I love that. Make yourself a priority. Jason, anything else that you'd like to add?
I think if money is a concern, A, remember office reimbursement. I think B, there's always someone that I know taking a Bold that finds a creative way to finance it, whether it's through a vendor partner who covers the cost for you or through a Bold scholarship or something like that. There's always opportunity out there. If that's the only barrier, there should be a way to get through it. Thinking of time, I think we say if it's not in your schedule, it doesn't exist, which is that I know I'm giving the A to the B's. If there was a date on the Bold that you know you have a conflict, there are excused absences that you can get. And generally there's like makeup sessions potentially, through other Bolds happening at the same time. The other thing, I think that you have time for the things that you make time for. Like Jeff and I are in Rainbow Bold right now. It is virtual, but we do need to be at home in front of a computer to do it. It started in August. So throughout the course of this goal, we spent about a week in Austin. We just got back from Washington, DC. We're going to Florida next week for a wedding. Like we're very busy right now and our business is increasing in part because we're in Bold. And yet I think that we still have time for it because we're making the time for it and we're able, because we are business owners, we're able to make our schedules to accommodate for all of those things.
No, you are in control ultimately. I love that. All right, as I wrap up, any final thoughts? Is there anything that you just would absolutely want to make sure that you know people know before you step off the panel? Like what's your last imparting note?
We're in Rainbow Bold right now. It's the same material. It's just for the Rainbow Network and it's the new material and you should sign up for Bold and get the new material because it's really good.
I like
I'm not
that.
gonna
It's
tell
like
you anything about it.
little FOMO going on. I like it. I am too. So for those of you who have taken Bold quite a few times, by the way, if you remember what we used to call Old Bold, the Diane Kokoska, like you're more regimented, like this is some serious stuff we're gonna push. We're going really close back to that with a lot of new material, with new resources and updated with the current market of the moment. And so I'm really excited about that. Tammy Young to step back in. She is she runs CES here for Carolina Education Services, and she is master faculty. Yeah, and obviously a MAPS coach. So it's really great to have her step back in. I'm excited to see what the new material is because I kind of felt like the last couple of Bolds, no offense, were Bold lights.
Yeah.
Anything else from the panel before I let you go back to your seats?
Do it.
I would say too, like, when I think about the Bolds that I've taken before, one of my favorite Bolds was right here in this office. I think having the chance to take it right here in this room it makes it easier for you. And for me, one of the best parts about that Bold was that so many people from the office were in it. So I think the more of us that sign up and take it together, it's a different experience than you're gonna get taking it with a lot of other market centers, which obviously Burlington may have some seats.
Well,
So
and I
I would
mean,
love for it to just be ours.
I'm gonna be honest, like, there's part of me that goes, I don't wanna offer them to anybody, but Burlington was gracious enough to have us in their bowl earlier in the year, so I felt like we had to be really awesome, nice neighbors and open them up, but if you guys take all the spots, it won't hurt my feelings. Thank you very much, you guys will give them a round of applause, please. I appreciate, thank you so much for giving your input, because I think I can sit up here all day and say it's great. Denise can say all day it's great. I think it's really important to hear from your peers of their experiences. All right, we are going to jump right into who's in. So all of you have the bold registration sheet on your, in front of you. All that we need. So first thing first, First Step is free. So you can come to First Step, experience it, see if you like it. However, again, we're gonna come up in an issue where we may not have the spots. So there may come a time where we have all 50 and we have to go back to our free spots and say, I'm sorry, we're gonna have to make some adjustments. We might do some overflow in the kitchen for that purpose. So all we need though, if you would like to do either First Step or full bold, is write your name on the form and either write, I'm all in, meaning I'm ready, full bold, and we'll go ahead and register you. We'll contact you. We'll get that all taken care of for you. If you're interested, but you have questions and you're just not quite sure, just write, I have questions, and we'll reach out to you and we'll see if there's some things we can help and give you some more information. And if you're just simply not interested, this is not the time for you. You don't need this experience and 11 more pieces of business. Just write no so that we know not to ask you again. Right? And so that we know how many spots that we have. So if you will do that for me and then pass them all the way into the center so that we can collect them. So again, your name and I'm all in, I have questions, or simply, no, I'm not interested. If you will do that for me, I appreciate it, appreciate it. I need to see papers moving, Rustling, let's go. All right, and Becca's gonna come and she is going to go ahead and pick those up, and then we're going to run right into the rest of the meeting. So I have to give you a warning. We're gonna have to kind of go fast from here so that we can make sure we fit in all the information. So when your name is on the screen and you do not want to come up and take your picture, come up here and come take a picture. There? Like, that's all I'm asking. I want you to participate. All right, thank you so much for doing those forms. Again, these are your 3 options. No judgment. We just need to know where you are so that we know how to help. I'm all in. I have some questions. And then, all right, while Becca is getting those, we're gonna start running into bucket fills. This is my favorite part of the meeting. So if you have gratitude that you would love to share for your fellow agents, something that, or for leadership, or for anybody here who has helped you in anything, you just want to give a shout out, who would like some ducks? Where are my ducks going? Go this way. This is the part.
Should I start?
Yeah, go ahead and start, because I've got some people who are writing in.
So this one goes to Sheena.
Aw.
And the reason being is that she goes beyond, I was in Spain for like 2 weeks. And let me tell you, different time zones, we worked through this, we got things under contract, and she goes beyond, and she always has my back, so.
Awesome.
Get it.
Thank you, Sheena. All right, who else would like ducks? Now, look, I know, like, I was gonna say, I know you got some loves in here. All right, I'm gonna pop it to you if I can. Good job.
Alright, so I've joined the Buchanan team and I really loved it. I mean, it was more than I was expecting. I'm pretty independent, so I'm already kind of hesitant about joining this team. But they've been really great and have been really encouraging. We've had a lot of fun together, and specifically when you do this to Autumn, because there's been many times where she has just helped with like all of the small stuff that goes into having business. And I remember one time I had a book again and she like ran out and like got me one real fast, which was just really great. So yeah, it's very beautiful for you guys.
For Brandon, I don't think he's here, but when we were in DC, or not, Austin, Texas, he put a sign in the yard for us, a lock box up. He showed buyers, properties, and Yeah, so it's going to.
I love it.
Anybody else?
Oh, that's cute. Oh, I like this. Thank you, Crystal. I just want you to know that joining your team has completely changed me. I've had opportunities that I've never done before. Yes. And I just thank you for that. You've got me out of my comfort zone, and it's just an honor to work with you, and I thank you so much for that opportunity. Yeah.
Anybody else? I love it. Yep, absolutely.
I would like to give this one to Jessica. Always helping every text message that I send. Multiple times, I'm new, really. And I'm working on my signs, and she's been texting me back, looking at proofs of, for sales signs and open house signs. There are many people I could give that to, actually, the last month, but thank you.
Thank you, Jessica. Shout out to the protein coaching program. Love it. Anybody else? Yep.
I hope I need to throw them in this further. I'm sorry, all you were about that.
If you'll stand for me if you were in Ignite.
All of the great people, we are having so much fun. And the questions have been great, and it's been really great at night.
Oh, thank you. On the flip side, if you were an Ignite instructor, will you please stand for me? That for me, please. Donna, I just listened to you like 5. Donna, one, I mess up every time I send her stuff, and I don't even know what day it is. I thought we were having Ignite tomorrow, we don't have it on my calendar today. I thought we were going to business planning clinic, but thank you sincerely, really, to all of you who give of your time and you instruct, because we don't pay you, even though we love you and we would love to pay you. You guys give up your time freely. And I have heard from every single person that's taking Ignite right now, one, what great instructors that you guys are, how much they really appreciate not only the content, but most importantly, the stories that you share and how you guys are giving of your own businesses and that you're willing to just give all the secrets and tips. And I've also heard from a lot of people that they felt very heard and very included and that they feel like that they're getting something out of this. So I just want to thank you very much for not only those who are participating, thank you for pouring into yourselves and investing in yourselves. And thank you guys for pouring in and investing into our people. I appreciate that greatly. All right, any other bucket fills? All right, we are going to go with the red shoe. Lord, please don't let me screw this up. Thank you. As you know, y'all have been here for a minute. You know why, because I have a habit of giving away secrets. Monica was our recipient last month and she has a video for you. Awesome. Crystal is not here, so we will definitely, when she gets back in, we'll do the photos and all of the things, but congratulations officially to Crystal. All right, here at my anniversary. So if you are celebrating an anniversary, please come up to the front of the room so that we can celebrate you, embarrass you, all the good kinds of things. Do I have anybody here today? Let's see. Alex, it's birthday today too. And like, yeah, if you did, no hiders. Thank you for telling on your friends, y'all. Tell on your friends. That's what we do here. To the Jackson. We love you. I might not be able to say anybody's name right, but we love you. Happy anniversary. And if you are celebrating a birthday, if you will please come up to the front of the room. Again, Alex's birthday is today. I don't believe Alex is here. But yes, come on up. We would love to celebrate you. Happy birthday. Beautiful. Oh, look at that. That's so cool. Too awesome. Happy birthday. Our broker in charge, Mr. Bill Warman. Is Bill somewhere in the building?
He was.
Did we lose Mr. Bill?
We got a big show ahead.
Aw. This is what I wanted him to see.
Oh my God. Too much Barbie. Oh my God.
That's what you do, your broker in charge. Bill, look.
I know.
You can't say that's not awesome. It's pretty awesome.
Okay. Well, at least I'm not like threatening her with a hammer.
You said you want to change.
Yeah, boy, be careful what you ask for, right? Good morning. Okay, I got about a 5-minute thing that's gonna start with a story today. And I want everybody to pay attention because this is a big one, okay? And I want you to know that I'm telling you this story with the permission of the agent and the rainmaker that were involved in this situation. So I know everybody here, before you put stuff in the LS and when you're doing your paperwork and your input, you or your assistant double check your work, correct? You see a raise of the hands of everybody that double checks or triple checks their work. Okay, good. If you don't, start. We have a situation that arose about a month ago with a very experienced agent on an experienced team with an experienced rainmaker. A mistake was made in clicking or checking the wrong box on the input form. And so this house was entered as being on a municipal water system, city water and sewer. Guess it was just a busy day and everybody gets going quickly. It was even checked on the property disclosure statement that it was city water. Guess what it wasn't? And it wasn't city sewer. And about 5 weeks after this buyer moved into this house, the septic system failed. Oh, it's better. So they called a plumber to come fix what the problem was, starting with a slow drain, found out, oh gee, it's a septic system, not a municipal water city sewer and water system. To say they freaked out at the thought of having septic because that was one of the criteria they had given their buyer's agent they did not want. Long story shorter, what happened was they realized that this current septic system was not going to work. On top of that, getting to it to try to repair or access it was exacerbated because, yes, you're right, a deck had been built over top of the septic tank. Checking the wrong box on the property disclosure statement and on the MLS entry is going to result in about a $30,000 E&O claim. The septic system is going to have to be completely replaced. The deck has to be torn down to get to the existing septic system, to take that out and be able to reroute the plumbing line from the house out into the new location for the new septic system. Nicely graded and landscaped back all around the deck, all that has to come out. So this is literally a $30,000 or more boom by checking the wrong box. Okay, it's why they call it errors and omissions, because we are all going to make errors. But I wanted to emphasize to you how important it is to double check your work. Double check your material facts. The agent had done material facts and of course had the septic and everything in there. They knew it was septic. They just entered it mistakenly as a city system. Okay,
So when the buyer realized that, and they called for utilities, what they call this?
when they had a problem with a slow drain, they called a plumber who came and looked and said, it's not a city drain system, it is a septic system.
Okay, but when you call to connect utilities, wouldn't they realize that water's not on the city?
I don't know.
Was the septic permit not attached to the attachment from the last?
Not initially. Not initially. And it was the buyer's agent was a relatively new, very inexperienced agent. So it's difficult to know how much material fact and how much due diligence they knew to do and what they did to do. Okay. Now, I'm going to tell you something further, which we learned. According to the North Carolina Real Estate Commission, a buyer's agent is supposed to be able to reasonably depend on information supplied by a listing agent and a listing firm. We want you to verify this. And the Real Estate Commission says you as buyer's agents should verify this, but you can reasonably depend on the information given by a listing agent and a listing firm. Okay? Trust but verify, so to speak. All right. So my point in this is to remind you all to double check your work. The simplest things can turn into the biggest unsimple things in the world. So please, please, you're all professionals, be detail oriented in what you do. Okay, because we cannot control what an agent with another firm does or doesn't do in their due diligence. Okay. And that's actually a moot point. We made the mistake. All right. Just a minute, Crystal.
Is there was the buyer's agent, at all?
We're still discussing.
Yeah, I think that would be good, I just wanted to know what happened.
That was where we got the verbiage back from the Real Estate Commission that theoretically a buyer's agent can depend with some reasonable assurance that what the listing agent puts in is correct. It does not eliminate the buyer's agent verifying the information. But again, guess what? The people that graduated from real estate school and got their license day before yesterday, guess what they are? Yes, they're a licensed realtor. So you don't know the extent of experience of people you may be having across it. You had a question?
Yeah, I mean, the property questionnaire, did the seller fill that out? Like, and did it say that?
It said septic on it.
So the buyer got the,
Buyer's got the property disclosure statement and it also said, I mean, I'm sorry, not septic. They checked city system
oh, on the seller.
on the property disclosure. Now, I don't know if you all have done this or not. I've done this a lot, but I've been in real estate since Moses was looking for a house. There are a lot of people that have no clue whether they're on a city system or a septic. They don't know if they have a gas or an electric system. They don't know if their roof is an architectural shingle or a 3-tab. They don't know if they're on a crawl space or a slab. To all of us, you think this is like putting your shoes on in the morning. It's that simple. A lot of homeowners, they don't see it that way. And if you're talking to them and you're the professional and you haven't mentioned something about, a city system or whatever, they may just mark whatever they think they talked with you about. we're dissecting this. There's gonna be a complete and utter postmortem done on this. My point in bringing this to you was to let you know that it all started with one careless mistake. And to the credit of the agent, that agent said, please tell everybody about this, let them learn from my mistake. Okay, so that's what we're doing. We're learning, not bashing anybody. And this is probably, just to make everybody feel better, this is probably one of the most professional and detail-oriented agents we have in this office. We're all human and we all make mistakes. So what we do on my team is if I do it, my assistant Sean checks it out, or if Sean does it before we go, it goes in, I look at it and double check it, or Katie does, or Caroline does. But I thought that's who that was at first. I was getting ready to say, don't let my wife see that. But please, for any transactions or any listings or anything you've got going right now, take 10 minutes out today. If you've got listings on the market, double check your information and double check it on the property disclosure statement, because homeowners also make mistakes. We may know exactly what we're doing, and I know it is easy to let them fill it out and you just upload it and go on about your merry way, not checking to make sure they have actually filled it out correctly, as far as the logistics of the components there. Wasn't that much more fun to laugh at me?
No, it was much more fun. Well, like, the good information though, I mean, and definitely something we need to take seriously, but this is awesome. I'm sorry. I love this so much. So very much. I love your face more than anything when you saw it, but I really love this. So, thank you to your broker.
Sign of a sick mind.
Thank you, Bill. Especially about being good about that. I appreciate it. All right, we are going to, just a reminder, of course, always that use the broker in charge line and email to get access to both your brokers in charge instantly versus trying to go through them personally. This is how you get faster service. ALC members, if you will, please stand and be recognized. Katie's already standing, so is James. Just want to say thank you very much for your service. And I know, Crystal, I know you've got something coming up that you're going to talk about. Does anybody else have anything that they need to bring to the table today? Fair? Everybody, please thank them for their service. Love our ALC members. All right, we have a few things to go through in events that I'm going to kind of roll through fast, but this one I want to stop on. So Crystal, if you'd like to come up and talk about our vendor fair. Either way, wherever you want.
So, yeah, we put it in there, after the next TV, so we would love for you guys to come out to it. We have several new vendors that we can help you speak them, and, a lot of them are really good. So please give them an opportunity. I know a lot of times in the chats, we ask, you know, who's a vendor for this or that, or who you recommend, but guys, we have a whole list of vendors. So please patronize them. A lot of times, some of them give thousands of dollars to our office a month. So anyway, it's gonna be right at the team meeting. It's gonna be a trunk or treat, so they'll have prizes and giveaways and things like that. So if you really want to see you, it'll be in the parking lot from 12 to 1:30 after our next meeting.
Thank you, Crystal. We've got a lot of good things going on, but we don't have time to go through them all. But I do want to make note that we are rescheduling the family picnic that was scheduled this Saturday to a later date in October. Did we determine? We're still working on determining. We'll let you know as soon as we do. Just want to make sure that we can include everybody. So wanted to make that note. Also, we have headshots coming up on October 4th. They are $25 to sit down and get a professional headshot done. I don't know where you can get that done any cheaper. So if you need them, go ahead and jump on the link on KW1 Agents. Mastering the Basics, these are the classes that I have brought back from Mega Agent Camp, and you actually come out with what people are actually doing in these categories and the playbook of how to implement this into your business. This is out of the new Millionaire Real Estate Agent playbook, and so please make note and come to these when you can. Masterminds, these are your support groups when we laugh, we cry, we share. So if you've not been able to come to your mastermind, please do. You're welcome to attend any of the masterminds, but you can only participate in the mastermind that is for you. Ignite is wrapping up and again has been fantastic. Ignite is not just for new agents. I encourage anybody who wants to master any of these areas of their business to jump into Ignite. And we have Jessica Spivey doing Social Media 101, getting started from the basics. We have our title partners from Heritage Title, who is going through a class on the importance of surveys when buying a home, and a panel on bringing back your dead leads. I love that. Your tired leads from the dead with Kara and Jessica. DEI moment, Jason, if I can call upon you to handle our diversity, equity, inclusion, and we definitely like to add that B for belonging. So what you got for this month?
So I just have two really quick things, or try to make them really quick. One, Color Movements has a new podcast called The Color of Money. It is led by Julie Lachey, who's our head of inclusion and belonging for KW, along with two wonderful agents, Daniel Dixon and Emmerich Peace. They have different guests. They're putting out episodes like once a week. It should be anywhere that you can find podcasts. So I know it's in Spotify. They've had a lot of different guests, and they're talking a lot about wealth building, both for you as an agent and for your clients and your communities. And then the other thing that I wanted to talk about, so it's not really a new community or community group officially, but under the KW Wellness umbrella, we had a mastermind at Mega Camp, Mega Agent Camp technically, that was called ADHD as a Superpower, something along those lines. So we now have a group, it's primarily on Facebook, that is specifically for agents with ADHD. There's actually two of them now. One is brokerage agnostic, so any agent can join, and then one is specific to KW. So there's a KW ADHD group on Facebook. If you are interested in joining it and you can't find it, let me know, and I can help you or send you the link to join it. It's led by Tyler, who is a gold coach, and well, not a gold coach, a maps coach in Asheville, and I believe the same therapist that led with him at Mega Camp, that class, I believe she is also helping as well. So it's like a support group, tips and tricks on being an agent with ADHD and how to be super successful with all those things.
Absolutely. It's interesting. That breakout of ADHD was at a packed house, an absolute packed house. So it's interesting of how many of us in the field have ADD or ADHD, or if this field gave it to you, just out of practice. Seriously, it's a funny joke, but as somebody with ADHD, it's kind of cool to have a community that is actually celebrating and figuring out how we can use that for our good, not just as a hindrance. So thank you very much for DI moment, Jason. All right, I am going to skip through. You know how to send me referrals. Keep sending me referrals. I love you guys sending me referrals. I protect your profit share when you do and try to keep you in the loop as we're going through, so that way you can connect. I would love to welcome up our new agents for this last month, Trinity Oliver, Rachel Nichols, and Shauna Hunkus. If you can come up, I know. Thank you, ma'am. I didn't know if I was gonna have to call you out, but I wasn't going to if I didn't have to. Actually, if you haven't figured out by now, we embarrass you anyway. Your friends will tell on you. Yay! Officially welcome. I'd like to recognize our newest capper. So Heather, I know you're here. Let's see, Portia, Pilar. But if you are on the slide, please come up and get recognized because you are a capper. You are receiving 100% of your commission. Last one. Actually remember the bags this time, because like most time back after we're gonna chase people down. She's like, I only told you like every time you're supposed to get out bags. All right. We're going to celebrate Productivity Coaching's Big Fish. Jessica, can you tell us, how does somebody earn the Big Fish Award? Big Fish in PC, how does someone earn that?
First that production, so each month we do a Big Fish Award, and whoever that month is top production in life.
Fantastic, and we know, because we saw it on Facebook, that Miss Grace Clifford is today. Congratulations. Good job, thank you. Andy, if I may call you up to the front.
Fun news, again.
I'll put when you're ready.
I failed did this last time, and this is just an update. So if you haven't heard, the class action lawsuits that involve NAR, KW, Anywhere, which was Realogy, which Realogy is College Bankers, so there's 21, Sotheby's. Well, Anywhere decided to settle. Which in a way is bad because settling is kind of an admission of guilt on the collusion aspect, which on the case. One of the reasons why they did settle, if you look at Anywhere's balance sheet, they are carrying so much debt that the attorneys for both those cases decided to settle because that they thought that's all they can get out of it. Which is to the tune of about, I think it's 83 or 85 million dollars. Realize that class action lawsuit is in the billions. Okay. So that just happened last week, right? We don't know what's gonna happen because this case is still moving forward. I do not know the timeline. I don't know if it's gonna get postponed. I don't know what's gonna happen if we lose, right? The prediction is this case is gonna get lost right now, right? Now, with that said, can you go to the next slide, please? All right. What they're asking agents to go ahead and prepare to do and brokers to prepare to do, okay? They've asked NAR to say, hey, you should require your buyer brokers to sign buyer agency agreements just like you do listing agreements. A lot of people don't sign buyer agency agreements until when? Until the offer. They're saying you should have this conversation with them in the beginning, because what happens, remember you go to the compensation page, we put down 3% or maybe 2.5% for new construction, and typically you say something like this. Most of the time, they're gonna pay me. If they don't pay me, you might have to make up the difference. You guys say something in that realm, right? Whatever that may be, okay? That discussion is probably gonna reverse. The discussion is going to be, to hire me, you're going to have to pay me X. I may see compensation from the other side, and they may or may not pay it. So go ahead and get ready for this, okay? In other words, go ahead and sign buyer agency agreements. 2, work on your value proposition. There's a big discussion about this right now. I have no idea what the compensation is gonna be, it's gonna be. The market's gonna play out, like the market's gonna play out. I don't know what other people are gonna be willing to work for, and what you're willing to work for, and what consumers are gonna be willing to pay. It's gonna change, right? Again, I'm not sure when. Could be as early as the end of the year, and it's gonna depend on how that court case shakes out, and what the Department of Justice says, hey, this is how we're gonna handle it, MLSs, brokerages, we're all gonna have to adjust, right? So, like they said, brokerages require signed executed buyer agency agreements. Agents, listing agents should update their materials and just how they, and any agent representing a buyer are compensated, and the pros and cons of sellers offering or not offering compensation to buyers agents. Their prediction is it's gonna work a lot like in the commercial world. You go to a commercial property, one of the first questions that you ask is like, are you guys paying? And they're gonna say yes or no, right? So it's gonna move in that direction. I have no idea what's gonna happen. There's a question about that too, because one of the biggest things, MLS is what? Handle cooperation and compensation. If we remove compensation from that, I don't know what MLS is going to do. And again, it's gonna go back to what the Department of Justice decides what to do, okay? Here's the thing. You have time to prepare. You have time to work on your presentations, your scripts and dialogues, how to handle this, right? Let's say by miracle, we win. The only thing that's happened is you've just gotten much better at your value proposition when you're talking to your buyers, okay? So I'll go ahead and just give you an update, and that's where it sits. It's a topic of conversation every week. As soon as I hear stuff, I'll let you guys know. Okay, any question? All right.
Thank you, Andy. Well, not for the news, but for Andy. It's just it's like we talked about, this is still a buyer beware state, so you definitely have value. We're just gonna have to get really good about making sure that we're selling that story. So here, this is where we're at. We're over time. So I want to ask you, because I want to make sure that we recognize our fantastic vendors who took care of you today and have a great lunch for you.
Is it okay if we have our vendors come up, we adjourn, we go get lunch, and then anybody who is on the slides for August come up and get pictures while we're having lunch? Can we agree to that? Is that gonna hurt anyone's feelings? Because we'd like to recognize you, you know that. And yet, y'all need to eat before you start falling out on us. That's not a good thing. So if I can, I would love to ask Mr. Gray to come up. And I'm gonna get to that slide for us. So Mr. James Gray is here from Gray Home Inspections. Thank you very much.
Hey, good afternoon, guys. I won't keep you very long. We got lunch out there getting a little chilly. But again, I want to thank everybody for my wonderful referrals. My business is ramping, so my networking is definitely working. And it's working with your office and the other offices that I affiliate with, and the realtors associations that I sponsor events and do things with, just in support of you and being realtors. So thanks again. Enjoy lunch.
Oh,
And,
that's awesome to hear that your business is growing. Like, you take such good care of us. So
Give me a
thank
call.
you. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
My biggest month last month, I did 13.
Hey.
So, you know, keep getting it. My goal is to be at 20 by the end of the year, a month, and hopefully putting 1 or 2 inspectors on. So, you know,
We're happy to be a part of that journey.
Colin leaves for California on Friday. I am a emotional mess.
Oh, well, you're
So,
doing good.
Yeah, I'm doing okay, but every time I see his shoes or I see something, it just, you know, gonna be tough.
Grown kid thing is
You know,
what hurts.
They all go. Yeah, I got one in Carolina, one in Cincinnati, so it just very sad. But anyway,
Absolutely. Thank you, James.
thanks, guys. Thanks.
If I may welcome Danny Napoli up to the front of the room from Cinch Home Services. She is the other half of our fantastic vendor sponsorship today and is taking care of us. The floor is yours. So welcome, Danny.
Appreciate it. I'm Danny Napoli and I took over for Linda Ball. I've met a few of you. Crystal, hello. I've been, Linda loves you and sends her best. Yeah. Anyways, I just wanted to make sure you all knew who I was. I am going to be back on October 12th.
Awesome.
Hosting the lunch for Bold that day, so I'm excited about that. But I also wanted to make sure you guys know that we now have 2 warranty plans. And with everything going on and all the changes and all the legalities, getting back to warranty and having warranties in your conversations and having them in your transactions is really important. I've been an agent in California for 18 years. Warranty was always part of the transaction. So it's a little bit different out here, but it's nice to kind of see it's coming back in, all being part of your strategic package of risk management, keeping the risk down with the E&O. There's a lot of disgruntled buyers nowadays, a lot of things kind of slipping through the cracks, finger pointing going on. So it's even more important now to make sure you're having those conversations and that there is a waiver inside as well that they can sign. You can talk about it with your seller, because there's seller's coverage if they offer it to the buyer, and talk about it with your buyer, and they can waive, you know, either accept or decline coverage. We have our traditional plan, which has been around, you know, forever, where we have our own network of contractors, and we now, it's a pilot program in North Carolina and Florida only, where in certain demographics, it might be better to have a bring your own professional plan. Okay, so this one is where the homeowner gets to pick their own contractors and manage that process themselves. Good for people that really like to be in control and want things fixed yesterday. But the coverage, you know, limits are a little bit different and so forth, but this is good for more rural areas where there's not as robust of a contractor network. This is definitely always still the traditional plan going to be your more comprehensive plan. Anyways, both these brochures are in the copy room there where all the other things are. My business cards are as well. If you have any questions or want to go over anything, feel free to text me or call me and we can schedule some one-on-one time. Okay.
Danny, thank you for looking out for our agents,
Of
covering their
course.
businesses
Yeah.
and helping us take care of our clients.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Big welcome. All right, my friends, let's go have some lunch. Everybody be nice. Nobody else.